Welcome. I am Day, DAA. Those are my initials. I am a woman in recovery from loss, grief, trauma, and addiction. I have found that in my years of active recovery, that upon awakening, first thing in the morning, it is useful for me to affirm and devote myself to the me of my recovery, the one who ties all of the pieces of me together gently and lovingly to face each day. With these daily affirmations, reflections, and devotions, walk with me on the journey of renewal and self reflection. And remember that you are not alone. Fair use. Daily Reflections. This is a book of reflections by AA members for AA members. January 25. What we need, each other. AA is really saying to every serious drinker, you are an AA member if you say so. Nobody can keep you out. 12 Steps and 12 Traditions, page 139. For years, whenever I reflected on Tradition 3, the only requirement for AA membership is a desire to stop drinking, I thought it valuable only to the newcomers. It was their guarantee that no one could bar them from AA. Today, I feel enduring gratitude for the spiritual development the tradition has brought me. I don't seek out people obviously different from myself. Tradition 3, concentrating on the one way I am similar to others, brought me to know and help every kind of alcoholic, just as they have helped me. Charlotte, the atheist, showed me higher standards of ethics and honor. Clay, of another race, taught me patience. Winslow, who is gay, led me by example into true compassion. Young Megan says that seeing me at meetings sober 30 years keeps her coming back. Tradition 3 ensured that we would get what we need, each other. Fair use. Courage to change one day at a time in Al Anon. January 25. Before I discovered Al Anon, I often used other people's problems as an excuse to avoid my obligations. I loved the drama of another's crisis, and I talked about it at every opportunity. My own life seemed increasingly trivial, and my problems felt silly. It was therefore very difficult for me to focus on myself when I came to Al Anon. I wanted to talk about the alcoholic when I came to meetings, but no one seemed interested. They all kept asking about me, how I felt, what I did, what I wanted. I found that I was overly interested in others because I had such a low opinion of myself. My sponsor helped me to see that when I acted as if someone else's life was more important than mine, I was harming myself. This had to stop if I wanted to learn to value my own experience. Focusing on myself was the beginning of building self esteem. It took practice, but with the support I got in meetings, I grew more comfortable. I learned to talk about myself and to view my feelings, achievements, and concerns as valid and important. Today's reminder. Today, if I'm tempted to gossip or to create a drama around someone else's life, I will ask myself, What is going on with me? We talk about the part we played in our problems and how we change our attitudes and actions by applying the Al Anon program to our lives. Al Anon spoken here. Fair use. January 25. Just for today, daily meditations for recovering addicts. An added gift. We see it happening among us every day. This miraculous turnabout is evidence of a spiritual awakening. Basic text, page 51. We watch them walk into their first meeting, defeated, their spirits broken. Their suffering is obvious, and their desire for help even more apparent. They collect a welcome chip and go back to their seats, shaken by the effort. We see them again, and they seem a little more comfortable. They found a sponsor and are attending meetings every night. They still won't meet our glance, but they nod their heads in recognition as we share. We notice a spark of hope in their eyes, and they smile uncertainly when we encourage them to keep coming back. A few months later, they are standing straight. They've learned how to make eye contact. They're working the steps with their sponsor and are healing as a result. We listen to them sharing at meetings. We stack chairs with them afterward. A few years later, they are speaking at a convention workshop. They've got a wonderful, humorous personality. They smile when they see us. They hug us, and they tell us they could never have done it without us. And they understand when we say, "Nor could we without you." Just for today, I will find joy in witnessing the recovery of another. Fair use. Today, Emotions Anonymous, January 25. Reflection for today. Before EA, I took on the responsibility of feeling loved ones' pain when they were hurting. For days, I would obsessively try to think of the magic sentence or idea which would solve their problems immediately. Now I realize I do not have that power and knowledge. So I immediately turn another's tough situation over to God. My attitude now is, if God wants me to be helpful in a situation, it will flow naturally with no obsessiveness or self-will on my part. Most times it is love and compassion which God wills me to give to the one in pain, not a direct solution to their problems. Meditation for today. Please help me to let go of any situation I have been tightly hanging on to. Today I will remember, emotional releasing of a problem is the first step towards a situation in which I feel powerless. Fair use. Strengthening my recovery. Meditations for adult children of alcoholics, dysfunctional families. January 25. PTSD and survival. The memory contains PTSD elements of fear, threat to survival, and feelings alone, perhaps destitute. BRB, Big Red Book, page 180. Many of us experience the trauma of being left alone for hours, having to feed ourselves and to do whatever else was necessary to survive. We ate what we could find, even if it was half rotten. We wore what was there, even if it wasn't clean, had holes, and didn't fit. We were desperately afraid. We were neglected, and we didn't know if we would survive. We suffer from PTSD, just as sure as if we were raised in a war zone. As a result, we often developed addictions directly related to what we experienced. If we didn't have enough food, we may have developed an eating disorder. If we didn't have enough to wear, we may have become a compulsive shopper or a shoplifter. If we were terrified of being alone, we may have learned to manipulate others to keep them around. In ACA, we discover the laundry list traits, the survival behaviors we developed as a way of coping with our childhood trauma. As we continue to learn more, we use this knowledge to begin to take care of ourselves in a healthy way. We make a commitment that even if we feel overwhelmed, we will not abandon ourselves and our program. We know recovery is possible in ACA because we see it in others. The affirmation: on this day, if I reach outside of myself for an unhealthy solution, I will remember to reach inside for the experience, strength, and hope the program gives me. Like, share, subscribe, and most of all, be the you that you are created to be.